Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
A Texas community is on edge and the race is on to find a killer after 3 package bombs left on doorsteps exploded, leaving 2 people dead. I'm Hannah Doba with the latest on the investigation.
Good morning. A threat that led to a lockdown at Butte High School yesterday is coming up. How police responded quickly and put an end to safety concerns.
Good morning, Southwest Montana, 6:31 on this Tuesday. Federal investigators and local police in Austin, Texas are looking into whether race is a motive in 3 bombings they say that are likely connected.
Scary story. 2 packages left on doorsteps blew up yesterday and 1 killed a teenager. It was less than 2 weeks ago that a man was killed by another one of those packages. CBS's Hannah Doba reports.
FBI agents are going door to door in this East Austin community, questioning neighbors still rattled after learning a 17-year-old was killed and an elderly woman critically hurt after packages left on their doorsteps exploded.
We have a trauma activation, 65-year-old female, penetrating trauma, head and torso.
The first bomb went off Monday morning after the package was brought inside and the teen tried to open it. 5 hours later, just a few miles away, another explosion, wounding a 75-year-old woman.
Is it going to happen again? Where, when, why? Who's doing this? Well, we don't know.
Very scary situation out here.
This was the 3rd package bombing in 10 days. The first happened earlier this month, killing 39-year-old Anthony Stefan House. None of the packages were delivered by a mail service, and the devices were powerful enough to cause extensive damage, showing a certain level of sophistication.
We do not know yet whether the victims are the intended targets on these cases.
All 3 bombings happened on Austin's east side, a predominantly minority and historically African-American part of town.
Well, we know that the victims of these 3 incidents, 2 were African American and 1 was Hispanic. So again, we're not going to rule out the possibility that that may be a motive.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is now offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
In other headlines this morning, Butte High School had to go into lockdown mode for about an hour yesterday morning after a threat was made to the school. It happened about 11 o'clock after police received reports of someone making threatening statements about the school. Person connected with the threat was in police custody by noon. The lockdown was lifted. As classes continued, some of the students still in shock from some of that. Police have not released any information about the person suspected of making that threat. So a story will continue to update for you as the day progresses.
No doubt about it.
Yep.
Chilly start to the day. Looking forward to some sunshine later on.
Our friend Bonnie sent us on a wild goose chase. She said, "Go check out the moon. It looks red."
Right.
Chet and I walked outside. We walked all over. We couldn't see it. It's pretty
barely
low
above the horizon. Might be down in Beaverhead County. Bonnie, awesome that you get the red moon. We do not have the red moon here, though.
No, it looks pretty normal here. Yeah, it is beautiful. Snap a photo and send it in. I'll share it. Temperatures holding into the teens and 20s, 1 degree in West Yellowstone. Our skies will remain clear through the day today. We're continuing to watch these temperatures climb as you head into the afternoon. We'll likely be into the mid to upper 40s as we get later into the day. We'll talk about our chances of rain and snow coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. Now 6:34. As temperatures warm up, we can expect flooding in some areas over the next few days. MTN's Morgan Davies talked with the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office to find out how people can be more prepared in the event of a flood.
Temperatures are expected to reach as high as 50 degrees over the next few days. And although these warm temperatures may be welcomed by many, it is important to remember that flooding could be a problem for some.
As the heat of the day melts snow, it takes quite a while for it to get into the streams and rivers and downstream to where it would flood. So keep in mind that the peak of that flooding might be at night.
Considering flooding does usually occur at night, being prepared is key.
You have food, water, items in your car. If you're in areas that have flooded before, they're likely to flood again.
It's also a good idea to keep items in homes in low-lying areas that can divert floodwaters.
Bales, plastic, sandbags, that kind of thing, and do the work beforehand so you're not out there in the middle of the night trying to protect your home or your livestock from floodwaters.
Finally, take caution on the roads. When water is on the roads, drivers cannot tell how deep it is. According to Gallatin County Emergency Management, more people die from drowning in their cars than anywhere else. In Bozeman, Morgan Davies, MTN News.
In other headlines on this Tuesday, police in Bozeman following up on a shooting that happened early yesterday morning. Whole thing started after a fight between two men who knew each other. Happened in the 2100 block of South 11th Avenue about 3 o'clock in the morning. One of the men was treated at Bozeman Health for a gunshot wound. No arrests have been made so far, but police say they have both men have been identified and they are cooperating with the ongoing investigation.
And at least 3 people have been arrested for last week's interfering with the buffalo slaughter at Stevens Creek facility. They pleaded guilty yesterday. Cody Sison, Thomas Brown, and Hannah Ponder have spent the last 6 days in jail on misdemeanor charges of interference with agency functions and closure violations. As a part of their plea agreement, the 3 will be placed on 5 years of unsupervised probation, banned from Yellowstone National Park for 5 years. They pay more than $1,000 in fines and perform community service. Sison, Brown, and Ponder were all part of a bison advocate group called the Wild Buffalo Defense.
Also, yesterday was the last day Montana candidates could file to run for office this year, and scores of new candidates got in before the 5 p.m. deadline, including some from a new party that just qualified for the ballot yesterday. Montana Green Party qualified for the 2018 ballot, and at least 3 of its candidates filed to run in statewide races. 2 Green Party candidates are now in Montana's crowded U.S. Senate race for the seat held by Senator Jon Tester, and another is in the U.S. House race. Libertarian Rick Breckenridge of Dayton also joined the Senate race, and more than 50 additional candidates filed to run for the 125 legislative seats that are up this year in the Montana House and Senate. Legislative Democrats told MTN News that they feel confident they can make some gains this year, in part by emphasizing the poor record of the Republican majority.
We have now a 10-year track record of saying, look, this is what it looks like when Republicans are in the majority, and frankly, it's not pretty for the working folks, regular folks of the state. They really have made it clear that their priority is defending, as I've said over and over again, massive corporations and ultra wealthy, and I say that because I've seen it up close and personal. I've watched the choices that they have made.
But GOP leaders say there is no way they're going to be losing seats at the legislature where they control majorities in both the House and the Senate. Party Chair Deborah Lamb says the policies of Republican President Donald Trump remain popular in Montana, that she sees a lot of enthusiasm among Republican candidates. By the way, a 6th Democrat also joined the U.S. House race yesterday, Bozeman lawyer John Mayer. You can see a list of all the local candidates' filings on KXLF and KBZK.com.
And St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner, and that means so is the annual Butte Parade. Several roads will be closed to allow the parade to travel through Butte. Those roads include North Main Street down through South Main. West Park Street to East Park Street will also be closed, and East Galena Street will also be closed. The parade starts at noon on Saturday. We will be there streaming the entire parade live on our KXLF and KBZK websites. It's going to be hosted by our very own Chet Lehman and Caitlin Corbett, joined by Northwestern Energy's Paul Babb. Plus, our own Damon Turbot will host the separate Facebook live stream from the parade. Whether you're there or not, be sure to follow along on our websites, our apps, and Facebook as well.
Make sure you wear green, too, because if I see you on the parade route and you're not wearing green, I'll pinch you.
I know you
It'll happen.
will. I know you will. This guy. I'll be hosting Run to the Pub.
Yes, you will.
So we'll both
and
have
you'll be
our
wearing
hands,
your green, so
we'll
we're busy
full.
weekend, that's
yes,
for sure.
No doubt about it. Stay with us. Up next, it is your weekly Montana-made product of the week. And to help Montana-made products, it's the program branded to help producers and growers launch their products. And then a sneak peek.
Good morning ahead here on CBS This Morning. The parents of a Florida State student who died after a night of drinking speak out about their effort to make hazing a national crime. And a secret recording reveals possible plans by a Nashville public school official to sabotage filters meant to protect children from toxic lead. You'll hear the district's explanation. We'll see you right at 7.